everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Carrie here from Carrie Counts Cash. Hope you're all doing well. I'm having a pretty good day. It is late, it's almost supper time. I'm going into work tonight. I had a busy morning. I actually had to get up for an MRI, yay, that we got done and is over with now. So hopefully I will have a surgical date over the next handful of months, pun intended, because it was an MRI on my fingers. But I hope my American counterparts are having a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and let's just get into it. The light's a bit dim. It's very dreary here. It's, like I said, 5 o'clock in Canada, so it's almost pitch black now. And I figured that this would kind of set the mood because this is the vibe. So bear with me if it's not all that tolerable, but I think it's probably going to be okay. And we'll start with my cash envelopes. Now, before I do too much else, I do want to pull $10 out. This money is not going to any of my cash envelopes. It's just for the weight loss challenge that my mom and I are doing. And I put $5 a week every Saturday in there. So I will throw that in the jar for the next 2 weeks and call that square. Now, eating out has nothing left. We budgeted $50 for that this week. However, on the morning... this morning, I should say, after my MRI, I did end up stopping and getting a breakfast sandwich because it was just long and I was tired and I really wanted to have good sleep, and nothing puts me to sleep like carbs before bed. So we're going to put $35 in here. We're going to do 10, I'm looking for the worst 10s, 20, 35, and we will also set aside the additional $15 that makes up the total $50, and this will go into my credit card envelope when I get there. Gas has some money left. It's got $60. This will be going towards my car maintenance fund, which is a good chunk of change for that. So again, I'm gonna set that off to the side somewhere else so I don't forget. I would put it back in my tray, but I didn't write down the total amount for car maintenance, so I don't wanna get confused when I get there. So for gas, we're gonna do $1.50 this time. Gas is coming down a little bit here in my area again. So that's $75 for one trip and then $75 for a second go at the pump. And I probably will need to go tonight before work because I'm quite low. So we have 50, 100, 120, 140, 145, 150 now in gas. Fun money is not getting any money, and it has $80 in here. I'm finding that I haven't been going out a lot, but when I have, I've never been spending more than $50. So what I think I'm gonna do is take this additional 30 and put this into my sinking funds, my savings, all of that jazz, and use that for something else. So we will call fun money fully funded at 50 generally. I think that's more appropriate. Groceries has a measly 20 left, and this one's totally ripped, so we're gonna leave that in there for sure. And I'm gonna add an additional 180, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80. So this should be 200. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82. Yep. And I'm hoping to start using my points a little bit. I have $70 worth of points, so I'm hoping to spend those and maybe cut back on my groceries a little bit so that I can put more attention again to my trip in February and also to paying down that debt that we are so close. Self-care is gonna get 30. This is for my hair, my nails, if I want to get a massage, whatever I want to do. So we're gonna put 30 in there. And I just got my nails done a couple days ago. Starting to get into the Christmas vibes. And last but not least is spending, and that is empty. It's going to get 20. I did empty out my change already. I'm so bad at doing that on camera, and y'all can spank me for it, but I had like $17 or $18 this week. A lot of it, I had $15 in toonies and loonies and then a couple dollars in silvers. So that's a good chunk, and I'm excited to roll that at the end of the year and see where we get to. Now, before I get confused on the different piles of money going on here, I do want to throw this $15 onto my credit card envelope. And so now on my credit card to pay back, I have 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 160, 165, 170, 175 for purchases that I've made on the card. And we will do credit line while we're here. We're gonna put a whopping $400 on my credit line, which my current balance is $31.50, so that should bring us down to $27.50. And that is really good progress. I'm hoping that I can do, I'm aiming for 700 next month, but y'all know I can never promise that. And then that means that my saving challenges should more than be enough to knock that out. So then we have 100, 200, 300, 400 going on my credit line. And we hopefully should be debt free by the end of the year, at least consumer debt wise. I've still got my car to figure out, but like I said, I'm trying to sell that next year. So that's a whole other thing. Back to the bank is $20. This is the last of my Christmas money that I am going to be spending. This was for the pie for my grandma that I mentioned in my weekly check-in last time, that I'm gonna e-transfer my mama to do that for me. So with that done, let's roll into bills. Annual dues is for a membership to a Canadian bookstore, and the card that I have for membership is $45 a year, and I already have 30 saved, so I'm not worried about that. Monthly dues, Spotify and iCloud. My Spotify is up next. iCloud has been paid. Spotify is $11.98, and I put $5 on the credit card for iCloud, so the additional money should take care of that. Car payment would normally get stuffed every single time, but I did change my car payment date. It usually comes out on the 18th of every month. It did not come out on the 18th of October. Or wait a minute, yes it did. It didn't come out on the 18th of November. So the next due date for it is technically December 1st. It's not late, there's no late fees due on it. They just moved it, and they said because the amount to prorate the payment date is less than $30, they were not going to charge me that money. So I don't actually have any issues moving that. But that means that I will end up getting the paycheck at the first of the month and the paycheck at the end of the month, which usually I only get the one at the first of the month to finish fully funding this, where it's due right in the middle. So if I stuffed the regular $215 in here today, we would have $645, because this is fully funded. It's got $430 in here. And that means that I'd always kind of be thrown off with my stuffing for this. And I'm not stuffing it this time to get myself back on track, because next month I think I get paid on maybe the, I don't know if it's the 8th, maybe it's the 8th, and then again towards the end of the month. So I will have 2 pay dates before it's due again in January. So I'm more than covered if I don't stuff it for now. I know that explanation was confusing. I really struggled last night doing this budget, and I had to call mom and be like, am I being dumb or... And she just laughed at me. So we're good. We're not stuffing it. And that means we had some extra money that I usually put in bills that I'm not doing this month. So that can go somewhere else. Long story short, cell phone is getting $80 as usual. 50, 70, 80. Insurance is getting $130. 100, 120, and 130. So now it has 260 in there. Loan interest, I had budgeted this month $55 for that because I take the last 3 months and I average what the payments are going to be to figure out how much to stuff. But when I did the math on how much I should technically pay this month, I got $26, and there is $25 in here. So I'm actually not going to put anything further in here this time around, and we will see where the chips fall, but hopefully next month I'll only be able to stuff like $25 and get away with it as well. And that should be the last month because I am seriously planning to pay it off. I might not even have to pay off any loan interest if I get the balance down to 0 before the end of the month. So cross your fingers, y'all. We're in the home stretch. Power bill is the same as my car payment. I normally end up paying that in the same lump with my cell phone and my TV, internet, and my car payment. But where my car payment moved, and this is technically due on the 29th, I just decided to put this money with the money that I would take back to the bank at the end of the month for the bills then. So I still haven't paid this yet. It's not due until the 29th. And that means that there will generally always be, like the car payments, 2 payments each month before I have to do this. So we're also not stuffing power bill. There's $220 in here. Now TV, internet did go up. It went up to $166 a month, so we're gonna stuff for $170. So half of that is $50, $70, $80, $85. So it wasn't a big jump. It was just the cost of rental for a second receiver because I had a deal on that. We will do utilities before I do my bills buffer, and so utilities is gonna get $20. This is for water and sewer. It has $20, $40, $60, $70 in here now. My bill is usually about $190, but it may or may not go up in the spring. I'm not sure yet. So we are going to stuff for the $200 and then keep going for a while. Bills buffer is going to get $15, and it's got a good chunk in here, which is exciting. Trying to look, there's one that's like kind of half bent already. We use that. And I think there's a 10 like that too. I don't really see it. Odds of the difference. Okay, so in bills buffer we have 20, 40, 60. Oh wait, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 105, 110 in bills buffer. And I really probably should consolidate this, but I don't think I'm going to do one of those until the end of the year because I like to do them quarterly. If I have to do them more often, then I will. But I don't think I'm going to have a ton of money in a lot of these envelopes to do that with. So I don't think there's a ton of a point to do it. And that's it for bills. So we'll move into high priority sinking funds next. The first one up to bat is car maintenance, and that is just getting the rollover from gas. That's $60. That is a good chunk of change, and I'm hoping to buy some dividers from Intentional Living. I got some for my Wanderlust envelope, and I really want some for car maintenance and home maintenance, and so I might be spending a chunk of change on those, but I do want to separate out my expenses here just for like potential tires that I might need in the future. That wasn't even a word that I just spat out there. Any regular service fees, my license, my registration, all of that stuff. And watching Intentional Living, she also has one for a deductible. Mine's not a ton of money, but it's a good chunk, and it's always nice to have that. So I do want to start saving for the different categories as well because I quite like doing that. So $60 in car maintenance. Christmas is empty. We had $260 left over from the $1,000 that we'd saved out for it. So that is in here. In total, today we are stuffing about $23.45 or $23.50, including both the fun money and the Christmas money. So Christmas we're not doing anything with until the new year, and we probably will significantly start downplaying that because I think we're just going to do Secret Santa and put a little limit on the presents that we buy next year. Clothing is going to get $25. So we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 120, 125 in clothing. And I don't really know where I want to cap this. This is for my Dominican trip. This will go along with some spending money maybe that I have for that. So I might cap this at 150. I don't know. I'll think about it. Y'all know I'm always changing my mind. And speaking of that, I said that for health I probably wouldn't stuff for a while, but I'm going to put $10 in here this week just to kind of make up for the eczema cream I bought last week. And this makes 100, 150, 160, 170, 175. My goal is to have it by by October probably, about $400, if not $5. But once I go on my trip, I have plenty of time to start stuffing that more heavily. Home maintenance is going to get $35, and I know that's a weird amount, but my plow guy charges $35 a pop, and he's plowed once in November, so I'm hoping that's it. We've still got a few more days, and we're supposed to get like a mix of stuff tonight, but I'm hoping that one time will be the term. So we have 100, 200, 300, 320, 340, 350, 355, and 360 in home maintenance. And I want some categories here for like outside work, for a fence, for any home decor, for of course seasonal stuff like the plowing and some lawn maintenance, and so just things like that. So I figure these two envelopes really could benefit from some divider tabs. New car, I also said I wasn't going to stuff, but I'm going to put $10 in here. I do try and put $10 each time in my high priority envelopes and $5 in my low priority envelopes, unless I just decide to skip them entirely. But this one is basically also a buffer envelope because I think I'm going to make enough profit to get a pretty good down payment out of my car when I sell it, hopefully this coming year in the spring, summer time. And so I don't know if I'll need this, but I might also use this if I have any remaining debt to pay off before the end of the year. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 810, 820, 825. And I think what I'm going to do is start using $500 placeholders. So I might take this money back to the bank. But I'll think about that over the next couple days. So when you see this, it might be kind of empty. And I did make $500 placeholders. I said I wasn't. They're just cheap. It's just cardstock with like a cute little design printed on it. And I think I'm going to order some from Kristen at Intentional Living when I order the divider tabs. I'm waiting for Small Business Saturday. And so you might see these placeholders in the meantime. Because I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. So for Polaris, he's getting $25. I spent some money on food and litter for him. I bought him 2 big boxes of litter and a big bag of food, and he's still not quite out of his last bag of food, so he's got a bit to go. But that was not cheap. And now we have 50, 120, 130, 140, 145, and 150 in his envelope. And so hopefully we can build that up a little bit more before we need to buy any of those things again. Property tax has $1,000 in the bank, $2,000 in the bank. And then this is another one where we could probably use a placeholder anytime. So we're going to put $95 in here this time around. Wait a minute, let's do 50, 70, 95. Okay, so in cash, we have 100, 152, 253, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, $400 in cash, $2,000 in the bank, and our goal is $3,000. But I just wanted to get this to an even $100 amount this week. Get in there. And vet visits, I also said that I wasn't probably going to stuff for a little bit. We're going to put $20 in here this week. And he's not due until like March for his annual stuff. I'm going to aim for $250 annually and then just like replenish this as I need to for any smaller things he needs. But we have 100, 150, 170, 180, 190, 200 in vet visits for Poe. And the big ticket item right now is Wanderlust. So we have 102 in dining and we have 20 in weekenders, but we are going to be doing, just a sec, my iPad like crashed and so it's been really slow. I already colored the trackers, but we're gonna put $280 in weekenders. So let's do 100, 150, 200, 250, 270, 280. Oh, this is a better 10. I'm going to use that one. So this in total should be $300. 100, 150, 250, 270, 290, $300, which if I go down here, weekenders was set to get $300 to fully fund that. That one is funded. So for Wanderlust, we technically have 402. And that means we're doing pretty good on our goal. So I'm excited about that. Next week, we'll start on miscellaneous. For low priority, cushion is going to get $5. It has 5 in there now, so that makes 10. This is a cushion for my sinking funds. If I go over on any of them, then I have this. I'm just working to build that up a little bit. DRO is my phone leasing program. If I keep my phone, I think I have to pay. If I don't, then I don't. And this is due in October. $560 is what I'm thinking, but I don't know because I bought my phone through a third party and not directly through Bell, so I might not even owe this money at all. But we have 100, 200, 300, 5, 10, 15. Better to be prepared than not. So if I don't need it, that's just money that I can allocate somewhere else in October. Electronics is gonna get $5, and so that makes 10. I think I'm gonna buy some screen protectors for both my phone and my iPad. My last few broke, and so we're just waiting. I want one of those like paper thin ones for my iPad. Fireman's Lotto has 105. It is fully funded. I was gonna take this out and replace it with a fully funded slip because I did make one of those as well. I think it's kind of cute, but because it's due in January, I'm not gonna bother putting that in there right now. So 105, not stuffing. Household needs some love. We're gonna need some toilet paper and things like that. So I wanna do, I have written on my sheet for 40, but clearly 20 and 30 plus 40 is not gonna make 75. So we're gonna add an additional 45 instead. So 20, 40, 60, 75. These ones are so easy to deplete, guys. Like, I don't even know, but you blink and it's gone. Miscellaneous is also one of those envelopes for me. We're gonna put $5 in here, and that makes a full 5. Planner supplies is gonna get a lot of money because we've been talking about buying some divider tabs and things throughout this video. And that means that that's going to cost me a fair bit. So we're going to put $100 in there. And a lot of that isn't because her products are overpriced or anything. Don't get that impression, because that's totally not the case. She does great work and her products are totally 100% worth it. but it's because there's extra shipping costs. It's $20 to ship to Canada. And so that's not cheap. You might hear my cat eating in the background because his feeder just went off. So for planner supplies, there's a cool 100 in there now. And special occasions, we emptied out when we bought Christmas decorations last week. So we're gonna put 20 in here now. Toiletries is also gonna get 45 because we're saving up to replace my makeup stock before I go away. And I think I need some toothpaste, but otherwise I'm mostly covered. So we have 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75 in toiletries, which isn't too bad. Treat Yourself is not getting anything. I always give it my spending rollover, and we didn't have any of that. So last but not least is savings, and this is getting nothing for investments because we're not starting this until after I've paid off my credit line. Oh shit is my emergency fund, and that is getting 50. So it now has 2,000 in the bank, 50, 100, 120, 140, 145, 150, 2150 in my emergency fund, which is nothing to scoff at. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm aiming for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, and we're not even close because 6 months worth of expenses is like 10K for me, so it's a lot. Parents is gonna get 25. This is just for like money they might need as they get a little bit older. I don't generally spend this on them like if they just want a case of beer or something like that, but this is 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, and 150 in parents. I mean, I guess it could be, but I just spend other money on stuff like that. Pet emergencies, I did already fill out the tracker. We're gonna do another $5. We're not stuffing the bigger amounts until after my trip, but we're gonna plan for this anyway. So there's 10 now in pet emergency. And I got that tracker from Ashley Marie Budgets. She's on YouTube and Etsy, and she's fab too. Savings is gonna get $10. And it has now 20, 40, 60, 75, but it's also got 500 in the bank. So I am gonna put one of my pathetic little $500 placeholders in there for now, just to remind me as like a visual cue. And that brings us into our challenges. Flip a coin is first. Last week we got 2 tails, and I know I said in my video, I didn't even catch it during editing, but I caught it after that I was saying that I got 2 heads and not 2 tails. Guys, I'm not stupid. I know what tails are, I swear to God. So we are gonna put $40 in for one, and then 39 we also round up to 40. So that's $80 for flip a coin, 20, 40, 80. And we don't count the money in these challenges every single time we stuff. We count them on closeouts, which will be coming probably next week sometime. So we've got a good chunk of change though. I'm content with it. Let's flip for next week. And it's like, I could flip, but it's hard with my nails. I can't really get it to like go without slipping off. So I just shake it around and then see what we get. We get a tails, again, tails. And tails. 2 tails, 2 weeks in a row. So I'm just gonna take a little mark and highlight this so I know. Next is Save-Opoly. Now, last week we ended up in the dog pound. Guys, I'm just gonna say Savopoly hates me. Every time I try to open it, it like crashes. So I'm not really gonna do a whole lot with keeping it open very long. What I'm going to do is we owe $10 from last week because we got in jail. And when you fall in jail, you owe $10 or you owe $100, and we paid $90. So right now I'm gonna stuff my 10 for that, and I might try and roll, and I'll just see if we can figure out really quickly what I have to put in here this week, and then I'll maybe re-download it and go from there. I do think I want to do 2 dice this time, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Save 60. See crash. And I know when I play Monopoly, if I roll doubles, I generally go again. So I might, at the end of this video, come back to that and go again. Because that's just how Monopoly works in my life. So we'll see. For Snakes and Ladders last week, we ended on 7. I am going to roll 2 dice for this one because we're on our lower amounts. So we got a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 13, so we'll round up to 15. And again, I may or may not come back. We will see. 100 envelope. We opened number 76, which was $19. So we're gonna put 20 in there. And what we're gonna do is we are going to open another envelope to see what we'll pull next week. So because we got $19 under number 76, we're gonna go up here to 19 and see what that is. So that's 82. We'd round that up to 85. So that's a lot of money next week going into saving challenges for sure. 5,000 we're not doing anything with right now. Pac-Man, no, we didn't have any $5 and $10 this week, wah wah, which was so sad. But we will live. No Spend is gonna get $20 this week. I pulled it out of the small one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this right now. So we'll tuck that in here. And I bought these tiny little trackers. I am gonna end up putting this on cardstock, but I had a no spend day on the 10th. I think I had one on the 19th. And just a sec, I think I track them down here. Oh, I screwed up. It was the 16th, but whatever, we'll do 21 and 23. Close enough, as long as we know that we got 4. And so how much do we have left? 50, 90, 100, 110, oops, 120, 130, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. That's a decent chunk for our savings challenges this time around. So yes, let's go back to Savopoly. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Save 80 is where we're at. I do think I want to do one more for Snakes and Ladders. and we got 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 20. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. You guys might be surprised to hear this, but I might actually put $5 in Pac-Man. And then that means we have a cool 50 left. So this I would be putting in my Wanderlust sinking fund is what I'm gonna do. So 5 in Pac-Man. $13 and $20 for snakes. I changed my mind. I'm just gonna put this whole 50 into credit line. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull a 50 out of credit card and just tuck this in there. And then put the extra $50 that I just switched out into credit line. And that'll be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you probably when I do my unstuffing over the next couple of days, but you'll see that next week sometime. Have a good one. Bye.